Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Steam as Evil Twin 2. You can find show notes on the blog, illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can join our group on Ravelry, I'll Knit With You, and I don't know why it sounds like I'm going to say a third thing, because that's all I'm going to say. Hi, how are all my owls and my yous? This is the SSK 2018 recap episode, so if you don't want to hear about that retreat, go ahead and skip this one, or if you're just here to hear about that retreat, hi, welcome, it's nice to meet you. Like I said, my name is Rebecca, and this might have been, it was pretty up there as far as years at SSK go. I went in and I was kind of already feeling like an introvert, and I don't feel like an introvert very often. I don't know why I was so stressed out about it, but I was kind of stressed out about it. And so I got there an hour late, which I was like, oh man, everyone's gonna be at dinner, like it's gonna be gone. And I walk in with like a group of people who are also arriving late because before SSK, some people do what's called the 3-hour tour, and they kind of go around Nashville and visit a couple yarn shops, and I guess people were coming back from that late. So that worked in my favor. I got my badge, of course, for the Super Summer Knit Together, which has my classes on it. I took 2 classes. I took Twisted Together Plying and Core Spinning, both with Esther Rogers. And I don't do a lot of art yarn. And she talked about how, you know, if you're not making this yarn to make people feel a certain way, then it really isn't art yarn, because art is all about making people feel a certain way. And so if you're just making yarn for a sweater, even if you're core spinning or doing whatever, it's not really art yarn. So the first yarn that we did was a crepe, and I had never done that before, and it's a really interesting construction. You have one single that's kind of your center, and then you have 2 other singles. One is spun S and one is spun Z, and then you do this crazy plying technique. I'm like pausing because I'm still like, wow, I can't believe this is something that works. I'm not here to teach you about how it works. This is the yarn that I made. I'm trying to find a really good example of where you can see how it looks. And what you end up getting is this, like, it almost looks like the 2, my white yarns with my secondary plies. So it almost looks like those are crisscrossing and encasing that center color. See how that works? So this is what the yarn looks like as a whole. And I did it with pretty thin singles, and I wish I'd done it with like a chunkier spin. I know I'm really close to you guys right now, but I've got some other yarn to show you, so you're just gonna have to hold on, and I promise I'll get out of your face in a second. Then we also did a cable ply, and I've done a cable ply before, but having a teacher there meant that there was someone who was saying, okay, well, that's too tight, that's too loose, you know, you need to add more spin, add less spin. And the really nice thing about having my electric eel wheel with me, because I have the 5, is that when they say, you know, you need more twist or less twist, you just turn the knob. You don't have to like mentally adjust your feet, which I cannot do. I spin at 1 speed. And so it's really nice to have that like physical adjustment. I know that, you know, when I do this, I need to be at a 4, and I need to do this, I need to be at like a 3, and my normal spinning is about a 5. So here is my cable ply. There you go. Can you see that in there? So cable ply is 2 2-ply yarns done normally, and then you ply those 2 2-ply yarns together in the same direction that you spun your singles in. So if you're doing S, I always forget if S is clockwise or if Z is clockwise, but let's just say that you spun your singles in S. I think that's kind of clockwise. I think Z is clockwise, but that sounds backwards to me. So you spin your singles clockwise, and then you ply them counterclockwise, and then those 2 2-plied yarns, you spin those together clockwise. That's what I'm trying to say. And so she had us pre-spin a single, which was my teal. So the teal is in here, that was my pre-spun, and so my white is what I spun there. And my teal, for this one I did, what did I do? I did a whole mismatch of colors, so I don't know what to tell you. It looks like I spun part of it blue and part of it like one ply blue, one ply white on each of my 2 plies. So teal white, teal blue, and then I did blue pink. So I think I alternated my pink. That sounds right. It's been a couple of days, so I'm not 100% remembering everything. And then we did core spinning, and core spinning is fun and I like it, but I don't know that I'll ever core spin, just because the type of yarn it produces. I need a sturdier yarn than that for my own personal crafting needs. I had some singles left over, so I'm winding that off so I can show you the actual ball of core spun. So here's my core spun, and the really nice thing is if you have these solid colors, you don't have to worry about Navajo plying because you just core spin. And the hard part for me about core spinning is that you want very little twist in your yarn. And mine's obviously over twisted. So, but there you go. That's what core spinning looks like. It's very fluffy, it's very big, but the other thing is it's hard to maintain a steady gauge. So even in this, it's hard to show you yarn. Even in this, you can see it gets, I'm using my forehead as a background right now, so that's pretty cool. Sorry guys. It goes thick and then thin and then thick. Yeah, my forehead actually works pretty good for that. So, you know, life advice right there. Just use your forehead when you don't have a background, like you can't put your hands up. So that was my spinning, and I feel like I learned a lot about, I'm gonna readjust myself, hold on. I feel like I learned a lot about how I spin. And sometimes when you try these new techniques, you find ones that you're just like, okay, that's really cool. And I feel like crepe yarn would be really cool for a shawl because you'd have all those colors, but at the same time you'd have that single color tying it together. And I love that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'll be doing that soon or not, but I mean, you guys will find out, won't you? you've got the insight? No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so one thing, my classes were great. And Esther Rogers is a really fun teacher. She's very like easy to talk to about stuff, and I've had spinning teachers before that they were so smart and you felt like you were interrupting the process if you asked them questions, which is, I ask them anyway because that's me, but it's a little frustrating because you want to be able to ask and learn. And so Esther Rogers was really great about that. You'd ask her a question and she's like, oh yeah, let's talk about that. And so it was just a lot of fun. I love buying the Fat Squirrel bags every year because she puts a special thing on them for the SSK. So this one says SSK 2018, and this is the bag that I got. And it's funny that it has bees all over it because there was a, I guess you want to call it, unofficial knit-along for the beekeeper cardigan, which I totally started, and I like the pattern. It's really smart how it works. But I saw a finished beekeeper cardigan after I had realized that I had cast on for the wrong size, because that happens sometimes. And I'd gotten to about here and I had to start over. And I saw a finished one and I was like, you know, cardigans that hang like that don't tend to sit on me very well. They don't sit the way that I want them to, and they don't have enough shape for me because I need a little bit of shaping, otherwise I just look like a giant square. And some people look great as a giant square and I don't, because I already have plenty of curves to fill out that square. So I undid mine, and I had friends that I made that were also knitting them, the beekeeper cardigan, and I think we all ended up pulling ours out because we all decided to do the Lush cardigan together. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying all those words. I talk too fast anyway, so then sometimes my words just get caught. And if you saw the last podcast, you've already seen some of my Lush cardigan, and it's just a really fun construction. So you'll see more of that in my actual podcast episodes, but that's not really SSK related. I did do some of the beekeeper cardigan. I ended up pulling it out. It was really fun to have that kind of knit along for SSK though. I'd never done something like that. And a sweater in 4 days is a lot of challenge, especially when you have one whole first day of classes. My Thursday was all classes, and that's what I did last year too, and I really like that. But it meant that that first day when people had time to knit, I didn't, and I'm very competitive. So on top of feeling like the sweater just wasn't for me, I already felt like I was really behind. But it was really fun to talk to people who were also working on it and see where they were and ooh and ah over stuff. And so I hope there's something like that next year. That'd be really cool if I'm going next year. So yeah, it was just really fun. So I like Cal's anyway though. Sorry, I have notes, so I have to keep track of what I'm talking about. I taught my 2-color breakout again, and that's knitting 2 colors, continental, in the round. And there's just a way that you hold your yarns that makes it really, really easy. And I definitely intend on doing a podcast mini episode with some tips and tricks like that sometime. I haven't recorded that yet, so obviously you don't have it now. But I always have fun teaching that breakout because it's like a 30-second how this works, and then the rest of the time I spend like saying, okay, well, let me see you guys do it. Because when you try something versus when you see something, it's a totally different world, and I get that. But everyone picked it up really fast. It was a lot of fun. Last year I taught 2 breakouts, and I did not remember that. But then I was like, what breakouts did I take last year? And I realized I didn't. Breakouts, by the way, are student or attendee-led like mini classes, just on some simple technique, and sometimes it's how to use Knit Companion, or how to, there was one that was a planning a mashup spinning, which was really cool, and I was able to talk to that teacher, Starnitz, afterwards for just a little bit. She's really cool. So yeah, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to like learn from your peers, even though your peers are every age. So yeah. So let's talk about, where did my goodie bag go? I just had, oh yeah, here it is, sorry. Let's check out these goodie bags. So this is the shirt for 2018, if you didn't notice, and it has these 4 sheep on it. And at first we thought, okay, who are the 4 sheep? Because there's Leslie and Laura from the Knit Girls, and then there's a couple of helpers they have, and we're like, well, are they the helpers? Well, they said it's just a bunch of different demographics, and that's the same thing that's on the bag. And this is actually Scarrett Bennett, which is where the retreat is held. So they're just kind of sheep of all ages, young and old and punk or not, just craft together and being together. And that's a lot what SSK is all about. I like this bag. It's very sturdy. I look forward to using it a lot. My favorite part of the bag this year, I actually have it in my crafting table over here, so let me grab that out, is like a little toolkit, and it's going to be kind of hard to show you so I don't dump everything out, but it has all of these tools in it, and it's made by creatingwithsticks.etsy. So she makes these little toolkits, and then they have the Super Summer Knit Together on the front. And I got this and I was like, oh, you know, that's cool. But holy cow, I use this thing every single day. And it has stitch markers and cable needles and even a pencil and some scissors. There's 2 different pairs of snips in here. There's little end cappers for knitting needles when you're not working on projects. There's like tapestry needles. There's all sorts of good stuff. And sorry, I'm just looking at it as I'm looking through it, or I'm talking to you about it. And there's measuring tapes. Everything you could need is in here. And so I keep my little crafting supplies. There's like a little shelf under there that I tuck my stuff into so that they don't get knocked off. And it's easily my new favorite thing. The yarn this year was by Strained Dye Works, and it's gorgeous. The colorway is 4224, and I don't know why, but that's usually it's like something more easily discernible. And it's got these like speckles of brown and bright green, and it's really light, and it's this minty color that I love, and it's single, it's the solo base, and they always have extras you can buy. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna go buy a couple of more because this yarn is amazing, and with this much yarn plus a contrasting color, I could make a sweater pretty easily. You know, maybe use a dark brown for some color work to go with this like light brown that's in here, or use a dark green. I don't know, but I really like it. And so I had another friend also buy 3 of these, so we're gonna try and do maybe knit something together, but I don't have a plan for that yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. We always get, you know, a little thing of coupon codes, which is fun. We also got this Knit Girls post-it note tape, and it's a little rainbow with a little cloud. I thought that was really cute. Can you see that? It's kind of far away. One really cool thing we got is it's freaking July, right? Yeah, it's July during the retreat, and it's hot. So we got these little pop-up fans. So the way it works is like those hampers you get sometimes. Ready? Watch. Oh, it didn't go. And it's got the logo on it and everything, and then you just stick it in here and you've got a little fan. And it took me forever to figure out how to fold it, so I'm not going to do that on camera because it's pretty embarrassing. But this is just about the most clever thing I've ever seen. So that was pretty awesome. We also got a little battery pack for our phones and a yarn guide with some yarn guide, a needle gauger with a little measuring things on it, which is pretty cool. And there may have been other stuff in here, but I'm not gonna lie, I've dug through this like 1,000 times and pulled a bunch of stuff out. So I have a couple of things that are missing from it. I try to keep it all together, but you know, sometimes you gotta use the new stuff. But this was our bags and they were awesome. There were a lot of swap opportunities this year. I'm so sorry, but there were. There was a D-stash day and there was a hand spun swap. So on the D-stash day, my friend Stephanie brought some stuff in and I snagged it from her. So there's this crafter math, the clutter left lying around after you finally make that thing you found on that blog. Crafter math. It's not quite big enough to be a project bag, but maybe it could be a sock bag. I don't know. Maybe a sock project bag, but it's flat, so then I don't know how much it would hold. We'll see. Hexie Puff bag, yes. I still make those on occasion. I got some Apothecary yarns in the Drama Queen colorway. So there's that. The base is a superwash merino nylon. 75/25, 100 grams, 463 yards. So that just seemed dark and mysterious and like something I needed in my stash. I also got some fiber from her. This is the Play at Life Fiber Arts. Long on color, 4 ounces of superwash Targhee fairy lights, and some more information. Not really. Okay, so it's kind of a rainbow, but it's like a jewel, like it's a darker rainbow. So I dig it. I like it. I like to fractally spin stuff like that, so I'm looking forward to it. I did the hand spun swap, which was pretty fun. Sorry, this isn't a bag. It's going to be a little crinkly. And my strings are stuck together, so hold on. I should have written down who I got yarn from, and I'm sure I can find it in the threads, but I didn't think to do that before just now because I'm super intelligent. But this is one of the beautiful yarns that I got. It's a 3-ply, and then there's 2 little mini skeins to go with it, which is awesome. And then Spice2S, who is a viewer of this podcast, who I had a lot of fun hanging out with, I got this fiber from her, and there's tons of information on it, but I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly since it's hand spun and you can't buy it, so, but it is gorgeous. So, look at these 2 yarns. Now, I believe this is a 2-ply, and this is a single ply of this yarn, or this fiber with navy, which I'm sure is on this card that I could have just read to you. And it's called Seaweed Brain, and it's an Icelandic merino. So the Seaweed Brain is from Nurgle Yarns, and there's a navy merino and a purple wool. So here are those 2 gorgeous yarns. It seems like that needs to go together in a shawl. I don't know. It's just really pretty. I really like it. So, oh, you know what? This one's plied with purple, and this one's plied with navy, and I don't know why I forgot that. So that hand spun swap was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then there was the try it on room and the tasting room. I found a couple of things that I liked. I took pictures of them, but I didn't take pictures of me in them, which is like kind of a no-brainer, but oh well. And the tasting room was great. I really like the Chowgu needles I got recently because I had a lot of Eat Sleep Knit store credit, and I had enough that I was like, you know, I could get a set of needles with this. And I was a hardcore Knit Picks needle person before that. I tried my Chowgus, and I don't know if they're lighter or like what's going on, but they are a million times easier to craft. Like my hands feel better afterwards. So I tried some other Chow needles that I was like, maybe I need those too. So I have a couple things on my list to pick up eventually. No hurry, you know. There's always really cool drum carders there, and I'm fascinated by drum carders. And there's always fiber with it too. So I made this little bat with the drum carders that were there, and it's got some red and blue in it, and not any purple, but some navy. So it kind of looks purple from far away with that red and the blue in there. So that's gonna be fun to spin up. Just a little, like, you know, bonus thing. I did wait. There was a lot of fiber left at the end of the night, so I maybe made a little bit bigger bat than I started with. I started with about like a small bat, and then I added more to it when I realized that there was a lot of fiber left. You know, just less stuff for them to pack and take home, right? But now to talk about what everyone's waiting for. What did you get at the market? Oh my gosh, the market was cool this year. Starnitz was there. I didn't get any of her bags because I had done one of her bag clubs within the last like year or two, and I have too many project bags. And aside from, well, I did buy another project bag, I guess, but it was one I saw last year, and I was like, I'm gonna get one if they're there this year. So that doesn't count, right? So first off, our market bags were awesome. They are the same print, but on this like silver purple thing, and this all tucks into this little corner down here. There's not like a bag that you have to keep with it or whatever, which I really like that kind of style. My first stop was the Tuft Woolens, and I got blueberry lemonade, and I also got, I think it's under here actually, eucalyptus lemon. So these are little hand lotions. They're too small. You really can't see them. It doesn't matter. And they're awesome because it's like a deodorant stick style. So you just crank it up, and then you rub it on your hands, and you rub it in, and you're done. And I keep them in my purse because if they get squished, they don't explode because it's a hard plastic, and there's nothing to explode. So it's awesome. My next stop after Tuft Woolens was Hip Strings, and I immediately bought most of the fiber they had in the Space Unicorn. I think there was one left when I left. This is Space Unicorn, and you guys, oh my gosh, look at this. It's gorgeous. There's yellow and pinks and blue. There's almost a rainbow, but it's kind of not a rainbow. But there's white and black, and it looks really dark from far away, but when you spin it, it's not that dark. I got this, and I also got fiber in my mouth. I also got this, which is labeled turquoise, and this is going to be a sweater. So I've got 2 of these and 4 of these, and it's going to be 2 plies of this and 1 ply of that. And I did some swatches I showed you on the last podcast episode, so I'm not going to show them to you again. But you cannot beat how beautiful and easy to draft this fiber is, and the price. Their prices are, they should be charging us more, honestly, but they don't, and that's okay too. I always end up going back to Hip Strings for something else. I got the turquoise on my 2nd trip, and on my 3rd trip, I got this little guy, and you use him when you're spinning. He's clear, so I don't even know how you're gonna see this. Come on, I have to get real close again. See him? He's a little clear acrylic zombie bunny. And what he does is he's got a divot here and here. So when you are done spinning, you wrap your yarn around him to hold it all there. He is really hard to see. I am sorry, guys. I did not think about that. So I also picked up a bag from Whimsy Stitches, and it has cute little campers on it, you guys. And he's so nice. He also, I'm not sure if I paid for this or if he gave it to me, but either way, I'm fine with it. A tiny little camper locking stitch marker to match. Can you see that? I don't know if it's focusing. I can't tell. And inside here is some Tiny Button Studios soft sock in the Alonzi colorway. And it's, I'm already started knitting it up because that's what you do at SSK. It's grays and blues and a little bit of red in there. And I really liked her logo, and she had enamel pins, which are like currently a thing. I don't use a lot of pins. I think they're really fun to collect. I'm trying to figure out where to put them because I love them, but I want them to get the credit they deserve. So it's this little tiny fox with a ball of yarn. There you go. And they're just super stinking cute. So then I picked up one of those too because it's SSK. One of my other stops was Miss Babs, and I bought one skein from her last year, which made my pavement sweater and has so much yarn left. It's gonna be like at least 4 other things, I feel like. And her yarn is just so soft and beautiful and hardy, and I don't know how to describe it. I just love it. So I bought Yowza from her before, but I've always bought it variegated, and this time I bought it solid, and it's this corally red color. Oh, that looks so blown out. If I hold this next to it, does that help? No. It's almost like a pinky coral color that looks really bright on the screen. And if you don't know, Yowza is 100% superwash merino, and it's 560 yards, about 8 ounces. So it's about double what you normally get, but you're not paying double what you would normally pay, which is nice. So it's a light worsted, so maybe a DK. I'm just trying to get this color like more evened out. That's a little better, I think. Anyway, so I don't know what this is gonna be, but I had picked up some red and held it by my face, and also picked up one of these, and I was like, which one do you guys think? And my friends were like, okay, you need to go with this one because the other one's just like washing you out. So then that's what good friends are for, you guys. So this is gonna be something. And then it turns out that one of my friends, Carmen, bought the same exact colorway, which by the way, this is called coral, and 2 of them. So maybe I'll tag her into making a sweater with me. Maybe she's got her own plans, that's fine too. And then on like the 100th walkthrough, I had knit that 3-in-1 sweater. If you don't remember, it's in my project pages, but it looks like you're wearing 3 sweaters in one. And I knit it really early on in my knitting career, and I wish I would have used softer yarn. It's sport weight yarn, but yeah, I like that sweater, but it doesn't fit me the way I want it to fit me. And there's always someone who tries it on in the try it on room and it fits better. And so this year I let my friend, I was like, Ashley, this sweater belongs to you because it doesn't fit me like that. It fits you like that. So just, it's yours now. So I didn't really want anything in return, but she ended up buying me this SSK colorway from Camel City Dye Works. It is called Summer Fun SSK 2018. This is the Deacon base. It's a DK weight. It's 100% superwash merino, 231 yards, and I love it. It's gorgeous, right? These kind of blue, red, purple colors are like my colors right now. I don't know what's going on, but I like it. So that is what I got in the marketplace, and I think that's pretty much it. I didn't win any prizes again this year. I don't think I won any last year either, and I didn't participate as much in all of the knit-alongs. I brought stuff for the try it on room. I brought like 10 sweaters. I also took my Persian Dreams blanket, which was a huge hit. And that was pretty fun to see people get really excited about a blanket. But it's a knitting camp. It's a knitting retreat. You know, that's kind of what you get to experience. And I'm not going to lie, I really want to make one in fingering weight because that worsted weight one is so heavy. But, oh my gosh, this year was so much fun, and I made new friends, and I met up with old friends, and it was just awesome. And I don't know how to put it into words. So, if you went to SSK and we didn't hang out, or we did hang out, I'm so glad you were there, because that event is just really cool, and it's just so different to me than how the world normally is. It's cool to be around crafters like that for so long. I feel like I could live in an art commune after that experience every year. So anyway, whether you were at SSK or you were sitting at home having your own personal knitting retreat, I'll knit with you. Bye guys.